Today we're going to continue talking about helping others. Let's read The Mitten Tree and see how the characters in this story help others. This story is by Candance Christiansen and it is illustrated by Elaine Greenstein. Remember, the illustrator makes the pictures and the author, Candance Christiansen, she wrote the words. At the end of a long lane, in a tiny little house, old Sarah lived alone. Her children had grown up and moved away, but Sarah still remembered the mornings when she walked with them to the blue spruce tree where they waited for the school bus. Now, each morning, she opened her shutters and watched for new children to arrive. Do you see Sarah? Every chilly morning, Sarah pulled on her warm coat and started down the lane. As she walked past the children on her way to the mailbox, she wished they would smile or wave, but they never did. The children didn't even seem to notice her. Still, when she saw them, she couldn't help but smile. One winter morning, after the first snow had fallen, all the children were making snowmen and throwing snowballs. All except for one little boy in a blue cap and coat. Even his boots were a dark shade of blue. He stood away from the others with his hands sunk deep in his pockets. When the school bus arrived, he lingered behind and was last in line. As Sarah watched the little boy climb into the bus, she could see one thing. He had no mittens. Do you know what mittens are? They are these kinds of gloves that have all of these fingers in one hole together. So that is a mitten. And he didn't have any. Makes sense why he wasn't playing in the snow, right? His hands would get very cold. All that day, Sarah couldn't stop worrying about the boy with no mittens. Late in the afternoon, as the sky grew dark, Sarah dug through her basket of yarn that she had saved for many years. She found her needles and 4 shades of blue wool. Why do you think she chose blue? Do you remember the boy had all blue on? That's probably why. Then Sarah began to knit. What do you think she's knitting? Sarah worked late into the night. When the sun began to rise, she hurried to the bus stop and hung the mittens on the old blue spruce tree. From behind the hedge, Sarah watched. The little boy was first to arrive. He saw the mittens. He reached up and tried them on. They fit! With a big smile, he made a perfect snowball and threw it high into the winter sky. Very nice mittens that Sarah made. Soon, a little girl in a red coat arrived. Her mittens didn't match. That night, Sarah knitted with red yarn. Every day now, as Sarah went to the mailbox, she watched for children without mittens. Then she would hurry home and knit. Early in the morning, she would hang the new mittens on the tree. The children loved the game. Each day they would search under every branch and bough for another pair of mittens. Once or twice, Sarah thought the boy with the blue mittens had seen her, but he always looked away. Do you think they know that Sarah is the one putting the mittens on the tree? Night after night, Sarah knitted mittens in every color. Some had stripes, some had hearts, some even had little snowflakes on them. Wow, she's really working hard. Somehow, even though she had never spoken to the children, Sarah felt that they had become her new family. see all the mittens she has made? On the last day before winter vacation, Sarah awakened before dawn. That means very early in the morning. She took the empty basket that had once held her yarn and filled it to the brim with mittens. Out the door and down the steps she headed. When she got to the blue spruce tree, she hung mittens on every branch. The boy with the blue mittens was first to arrive. He stood very still and waited for the others. In fact, all the children stood very still for a few minutes, looking at the mysterious, beautiful mitten tree. When they boarded the bus, each child now wore a new pair of mittens. Sarah watched as one by one their faces appeared in the bus window. Still, no one looked her way as she started home. Do you see all of them with their new mittens? Very nice. But Sarah's heart was full. It was as full as when the sounds of her own children had filled her house. Look at the bunnies. Do you think Sarah is happy? As Sarah neared her porch and climbed up the steps, she saw something waiting for her. There in the corner was a basket woven with thick brown vines and decorated with a large white bow. In it were balls and balls of beautiful colored yarn. Do you remember what yarn is? That's what she needs to do her knitting to make the mittens. To this day, Sarah knits mittens for all the children in her town. Every time her basket is empty, a new full one appears. Sarah doesn't know who the yarn is from. The children still don't know who the mittens are from. But someone must. Who do you think knows? That's the end. She's right. Someone must know who the mittens are from because they knew that she needed some yarn to make them. Remember, they might not have known, but Sarah still made the choice to help others, just like someone made the choice to help Sarah by giving her the yarn. So, because they were helping each other, they were able to do such kind things, and people got to have new special mittens to stay warm and play in the snow. Helping others is very important. I bet you can be helpful today.